Hello everyone, welcome to Anu's classroom. So in this video we will be covering the important concepts of MMPC 9. Now this I will try to make it as concise as possible. I know this is a very huge, big, scary book, right? It's got, I guess, around how many 600 or so pages, right? Not 600, around 500, 450 or so pages. It's quite a big book after MMPC 6, right? 6, no? After marketing for managers, this is one of the biggest books. So rather than going by each unit and telling the important concepts, I thought we will concentrate on those units from which I have seen most number of questions asked repeatedly. Okay, so I went through the examination papers starting from the last December 2022 session onwards, till I went even back to the old syllabus till 2018 paper. I checked around 10 papers. I checked. um, I'll tell you those units up front, okay? Those units which you must study, because from this particular unit or from this particular block, at least one question has been asked. So the very first unit I want you all to make sure that you study is unit number 11, that is value engineering and quality assurance. All these 10 papers, there has been a question either from value engineering, mostly value engineering, or quality assurance. So this unit is very important. If you guys have not studied, pause the video or stop the video, go and study that, okay? uh, Definitely 20 marks, one question will come from there for term and examination. That has been the pattern so far. I'm When I say all these things, right, in the quick revision or um, important Q&A discussions, what I want you guys to understand is that I am not affiliated to IGNO officially or unofficially in any manner, okay? I'm just an independent tutor, and I am giving you tips from my experience, from what I have observed from the previous year's question papers and all, nothing else. Okay. So finally, how the question paper is set or how the answers are evaluated and all depends upon IGNO and its own guidelines, which they haven't published so far, I guess. I haven't found any official sources yet. Okay, but from what I gather from unit number 11, I am anticipating this time also that at least one question will come. Similarly, the other unit is unit number 2, that is product selection and process selection. From that also, I've seen that questions do get repeated. But last time, that is December 2022, there was a question from product selection and product process selection. So I'm not 100% sure whether from unit 2 a question might come, or even from unit 1, right? Unit 1 also we have had questions like overall questions of what do you understand by mass production or batch production or job shop production, flow of what flow production, something like that, okay? So maybe question might come from unit 1 or from unit 2, okay? Facilities layout, material handling and all, yes, there have been questions on and off, but not in as much of a frequency as I've seen from unit 2 and unit 1. So in case you do get time, just at least read through those two units, I would say. Okay, then from block number 2, this planning and control for mass production, okay, unit number 5. Unit number 5 seems important. I've seen questions asked more from this unit number 5 than any other unit in this particular block. So I would suggest that you guys go prepared with unit number 5 at least. Okay, so these are the basic minimum requirements that I'm saying. It is not that if you just study this and go, uh, that you will pass or you will get good marks, right? But at least the basics. Unit number 11, yes, I am 99% sure that a question might come, because that's been the pattern. Similarly, unit number 10 also, work and job design, on and off I've seen questions being asked. But whether or not a question from work and job design is asked, value engineering and quality assurance, again from block number 3, there has been a question. Okay. Similarly, in the block number 4, materials management, unit number 13. Okay, unit number 13, that is standardization, codification, and variety reduction. In that specifically, 13. Okay, codification. Codification, that topic seems important because we've had questions on and off. Similarly, waste management also. There have been questions. So sorry about my handwriting, and so sorry that I'm not able to prepare any good presentation as is. Okay, so those are the few units which I would suggest you to study and go. if not other units, if not you're getting time to at least read through, I would say focus on these. But whenever you get time, maybe while you're traveling, if you're traveling in a bus or train or something to reach your study center, I would say if you get the time, if you get the chance, just browse through the other things. What if something gets stuck in your mind, and if it comes, you'll be able to write something, or maybe you can use those knowledge that you gain to increase the length of any of your other related answers. So the pattern is like this: you will be given 7 questions. Okay, the seventh question is short answer question, from which you out of a selection of 5 sub questions, you need to attend any 3, and the rest of them are normal essay questions. You are supposed to answer at least 5. So out of this 4 blocks, okay, um, what you can say, not all blocks are equally represented. Okay, some blocks, like block number 3, as I said, I've seen 2 questions asked. Okay, similarly block number 1, sometimes 2 questions are asked. um, Even block number 3, at one point I've seen all 3 units, unit 9, 10 and 11, having questions asked from them. So block number 3 is one block which I would strongly advise you to study and go. Okay, chances are that if not 2, you will at least get 1 question from there. So let us go into each of these important blocks or important units, and I will try to cover or give you a gist of what these concepts mean. Okay, so let's get started. So the new MBA people, you might have already selected your specializations as well, right? HR or FM or marketing or operations or services. So this MMPC 9, this subject is actually part of your operations management. Okay, so in case you guys listening to me have taken specialization as operations management, then definitely or service management, both of these, this is a very important course. Okay, so you guys must have a good understanding of this course, so that you guys can come out as excellent MBA graduates, right? So what exactly is this operations management? How do we define operations management? Definitely that one definition I strongly advise you guys to study and go. Why? Because if a general question is asked about operations management, what do you understand by it, or what is the systems concept in operations management, or something like that, if it is asked, which has been asked earlier, you can start the answer by defining what operations management is, and then go about and say or write the rest of the answer, right? So operations management, it can be defined as the design, operation and improvement of the production systems which create the firm's primary product or services. Okay, so it is the design, operation, and improvement of the production system. Okay, production system. So whether you're talking about a firm which produces, say, or services, goods or services, operation management is important. Why? Because whatever your firm's product is, how best can you produce that product or service? Okay, how best can you improve the design, the operation and the overall production system which produce or create the firm's primary products or services, is what is all about operations management. Now, there have been questions asked stating or asking you about what the difference is between goods and services. So by now, since you guys are in the second semester, I'm assuming that you guys might have at least gone through the first semester topics, right? At least once, and you guys know already what a difference between goods or services is if a question gets asked. Okay, so that is another important aspect, which if in case you guys have forgotten, then definitely go brush it up and go. It is rather simple question when we are talking about from the second semester point of view, because goods and services are not new to us anymore. So in case you guys have forgotten, just quickly brush that concept up and go, right? So there are different types of definitions that are given about operations management in the textbook. At least study one definition, whichever you're comfortable in. Okay, so what are the objectives of operations management? In order to make sure that the efficiency, the production process is efficient, it is effective, quality, right? Quality is maintained. There are lead times throughout properly maintained. Like there is there should not be a very big lead time or a lag time. They should be under control. Capacity should be utilized properly. We do not need underutilized machinery or overutilized people, right? We do not need what you can say, Sheeram, no, right? What is the English word for it? I forgot. We don't need tired, overutilized people. That is what I mean. Okay, so that is the reason why we are trying to streamline the production process through something called as operations management, to maintain the flexibility as well as cost objectives also, right? To make sure that material cost or direct indirect labor cost, that is the explicit visible costs, are minimized to the maximum extent possible. Similarly, implicit or invisible or hidden costs are also what you can say managed. So the cost objectives are also there along with the operations objective. Then comes the type of operation systems that we have, right? As I was saying, mass production or flow line production system. So sometimes question might be asked about, write a short note on flow line production, flow line production system. Okay, what you must understand is flow line production system is same as your mass production system. It's just a other word for it. So in case you find flow line production system somewhere, do not panic in your examination paper. Understand what they're asking you is about mass production. So what is mass production? Continuous flow production or mass production is where facilities are standardized and there is a, or the plant is always running 24/7, right? It is the facilities are standardized as to the routing and flow. Since inputs are standardized, therefore standard set of processes and sequence of process can be adopted. So this what I've told is I just read it from the textbook. Okay, it's kind of confusing. So basically, what is flow line production system? It is a 24-hour production process. So raw materials keep on coming in, then work always gets done on the production, on the raw material. So always there is raw material coming in. You can even wherever possible, whatever concept you are trying to explain, in case you are able to translate them into pictures or diagrams, always do that. Process flow diagrams, always do that, because it becomes easier for the invigilator to understand that, okay, this guy or this girl, they know the concept very well, right? So it becomes easier for them to give you marks. Do not deny them of any opportunity to give you marks. Okay, so you can draw like this. Raw materials are coming in, then there is this production process, and always there is output going in. Okay, so so something like this, you can draw a picture also. When you're talking about the any kind of production system, you can draw such a picture according to what that production system is. It will help you gain more marks. So this is the kind of so I hope you understood about flow line production system, right? Or mass production system. Otherwise you can also call that as a continuous production system. Okay, it enables the product to be created in a series of stages on the assembly line. Continuous movement. Why it is called continuous production system? Because there is continuous movement of items throughout the production process. So new raw materials are coming in. The recently given raw materials, they might be getting processed stage 1, stage 2, like that, and continuously they are transformed into output. Think about whatever, any food factory, right? And which is your favorite chips? Lays, Bingos. How is it done? If it is a potato chips, continuously you will be feeding the, from one end there will be new potatoes coming in. Okay, these are, assume these are potatoes. Okay, so there will be one machine which is cleaning the potato, removing all the grass or the straws or something, whatever, the roots and everything, mud and everything. There might be another, after that it might be going on to another machine where they will spray it with water and it clean it. Then some other machine where there are a set of rollers that will that will peel this potato. There will be another machine which will cut the potatoes into different shapes. There will be some other machine through which one level of frying might happen. Then it might go to another machine where then one more level frying might happen. I'm just assuming. Okay, then another machine where maybe it is getting chilled or it is getting cooled down after frying. And then there may be another machine or a tumbler kind of thing where that potato is being, those fried potatoes which are coming out is being tossed with flavor. And then there might be some other place where packaging is being done, the potatoes are put into packet. Then there might be another machine which is sealing them. Then these bags might be moved to cardboard boxes. Those cardboard boxes might be labeled, shipped, things like this. So this thing is continuous, right? It never stops. Packets get pushed out, potatoes are moved in. So it is a continuous process. It is an example of this flow line production system. I hope you understood. So what are the major characteristics you can think of? Volume of output will be generally very large. That is why it is called mass production. Production design, the conversion process, all those things will be pure, very much highly standardized. Okay, identical products will be produced. It is not that my Lace packet will have more whole chips, big what you can say, big potato pieces, flakes, than yours. We all will get broken pieces only. Similarly, so standardized machines and equipments are arranged according to product layout pattern. So here, the principles, if you remember, of motion study, time study, and all, they're highly utilized in such factories, so that every step of production is top notch efficient. Okay, machines and equipments are arranged according to the product layout. Special purpose automatic machines might be used. So again, it has its own merits and demerits as well. Continuous production, it offers quality of output. Okay, uniform quality of output, lowest possible cost, lead time, lag time, control over materials, quick return on capital employed would be there. Similarly, there are limitations as well. What are the what all might be the limitations? Okay, continuously, if there is any blockage on the line, then the entire production process will get stopped unless the fault is cleared immediately. So if there is, the main limitation here is, if any one place, okay, if this machine breaks down, if this pipeline jams, then everything till here is going to get jammed. Okay, unless you clear this jam as early as possible, this entire line is going to be stuck. Okay, overheads will pile up. So that is the major limitation, major drawback of such a system. Then as this process is continuously going, then power consumption and such things also come up, but that is minor compared to this clogging effect that could happen. Okay, similarly, suitability, such things are not suitable, such things are okay for mass produced items, okay, but not for designer luxury items. If it is mass produced, then it will lose its value, right? So it is suited to those organizations which intend to produce a limited variety of products on a large scale. Okay, it is not something which is suited for a bakery which might be producing different items, not just chips. But if it is a factory like Lays or Bingo or something like that, then it is useful. Similarly, if it is a Nestle factory, then they might be producing different types of chocolates. All of them might have the same base chocolate mix, just that some chocolates are poured on a bubbly mold, others are poured on a basic slab mold, but basically it's all just Cadbury chocolate, right? And that's just my view. Maybe people are over here who go head over heels for Cadbury Dairy Milk Silk Bubbly. I do not know. Okay, so that is continuous flow production or mass production. Similarly, the other one is batch production, which is also important. So question from this might get asked like a short note type question, or they might ask you to compare between batch and mass production. Or so these are the two types of questions that I have seen. Or maybe even explain a particular production process by itself. Okay, so what is batch production? Here the manufacturer of this product will manufacture that in small or large batches, right? So if so it's best suited for things like bakeries and also at one point they might bake one batch of cakes, right, or one batch of bread, especially bread. And once, so all the what you can say units of bread in that particular batch will be almost identical. Then they might change the production to, maybe after baking one set of bread, they might bake one set of cakes maybe, or croissants, or they might do something like that. Okay, or maybe they might bake one set of regular milk bread, and then maybe they will switch to fruit bread, we don't know. Okay, so a batch by batch they will produce. Okay, so these lots are produced at intervals by a series of operations, and each operation will be carried out on the whole batch before any subsequent operation is performed. Like for example, in the case of bread, so the entire maybe 2 kgs of dough or 5 kgs of dough might be required, right? So the that wheat or maida will be taken, that 5 kgs of maida will be taken, it will be mixed with water, kneaded into a dough, or maybe yeast might be added. And so that happens once for that bulk, right? And then they might keep that dough for resting maybe like 2 or 3 hours, and then they might cut it. So everything, all the processes that go into producing the bread, it is not like continuously one machine is mixing the dough continuously, another machine is taking little by little dough out of that mix and going. No, that is not how it is done, right? So when we contrast with our lace manufacturing and with the bread manufacturing, you can actually see the difference, right, between both of these processes, bread being batch produced ones. So what are the characteristics? Very large variety of products can be manufactured in this particular technique with the same machinery, right? Like you can bake bread, you can make croissant, you can make even donuts or bagels or whatever it is. You can make different types of bread in different shapes and sizes, maybe even cakes, right? Using the same machinery and almost, in fact, even using the same ingredients as well, right? Almost it is the same. What goes into becoming a bread and what goes into becoming a bagel is almost the same, though ratios might differ. So both general purpose machines and special purpose machines can be used. Similarly, there are merits and demerits as well, and along with suitability. So what could be the merits? It combines the features of both flow production as well as job production. So what is job production? We'll get to know that quickly. Okay, there is no standard sequence of operations which we can use. The main problem here would be the idle time between one operation and the other. Like for example, you need the dough for the bread, you have to keep it for rising. Okay, so that wait time we have to give. If you don't give it, your bread will turn out bad. Okay, you'll have to put the entire thing in the dustbin. So batch processes, what kind of products are they suitable for, or services are they suitable for? Okay, though those products where either the volume of output increase, okay, um, in some repetitiveness, okay, some repetitiveness is there for the marketing demand and things like that, then it is suitable for batch processing. Similarly, the third one over here is the job shop production. Okay, so job shop production, so I'm just giving you a gist of all these different types of production processes. There are dedicated units for these production processes. Okay, and I strongly urge you to at least go and simply just read through, just like you're reading a magazine or something like that. Just read through these units, because I've seen questions being asked about these various types of production processes. So what is job shop production? It involves the manufacturing of a single complete unit with the use of a group of operators and processes as per the customer's order. Like, have you seen cake making videos and all, wedding cake making videos and all? There is one particular guy, he uses foul language, okay, but still, buddy, okay, his cakes are phenomenal. So how they start, so he's kind of like a celebrity cake maker, and also how they start making the cake from one till the end. Okay, the entire team solely focuses on that particular, just that one cake. That is how they do it. So that is kind of like a job shop production. Or if you have seen these resin craft videos and all, they don't make 1,000 batches of resin craft at the same time, right? So these luxury designer goods generally go for this kind of job shop production process. Okay, where the that single particular order is being tried to complete. Similarly, softwares, okay, software companies, they focus on that one particular product, and once that is completed only they'll start with the next. Even in our channel, right, I try to focus on one particular course. Once we complete that, I'll go, or once we get almost done with that, I'll start to the next topic. That's how I try to, that's how I want to. Okay, so that is again an example of job shop production. So what are the characteristics of it? Product is manufactured, is custom made, it is non standardized. Okay, it is unique, it is designer, it is done just for you. Machines or equipments are arranged or assembled at one place. Wide range of general purpose machines like maybe grinders, drills, press, sharpeners and all might be used. Volume of output is generally quite small. Variable path materials handling equipments are used. So again, here also, if a question gets asked, what all merits and limitations can you think about? It involves relatively small investment in machinery and equipment. Just imagine, if you are starting like a small scale fry's unit. Okay, maybe you're just catering to the nearby bakeries or just your relatives, you wouldn't need such large machines like a lace factory, right? So there is one famous YouTuber in Malayalam, if you guys know. I think they're called Ammummayum Kochumonum or something like that. It's a grandmother and a grandson duo. So recently now I saw that they started putting out videos, food videos, and general videos with the two of them, the grandmother and the grandson. And then they later started selling pickles, and now they have expanded, and they were saying in one of the videos that they bought a machine for 10 lakh rupees, right? So now they're expanding, they're trying to get into batch processing mode, and maybe future, inshallah, let god permit them, they might go for mass production as well, right? That's how a business blooms. Such beauty, right? So that is job shop production. Then we have another type, okay, called the unit manufacture or projects. Okay, so yeah, so this software which I was talking about, right, more than this job shop production, I believe it will be much suited to be called as unit manufacture or project. Buildings, okay, flats, confident group, you might have heard, or asset homes, hirandani, they have projects, they are unit manufacturers, right? It is an Endeavor, a project is defined as an endeavor with specific objective to be met within the prescribed time and cost limitations that has been assigned for execution. Okay, so that is unit manufacturer project. So I hope that at least if you get any of these four types of projects questions, at least you will remember the examples which I have told you, and then from there on you can use your creative imagination to talk about what are the merits, the limitations, and the suitabilities of each of these type of projects. Yeah, then this PLC, product life cycle, we have studied it in first semester. We have studied it in, I guess, which all MMPC 1 also we have studied, I guess. MMPC 6, marketing for managers, definitely we have studied, right? Even I guess in strategic management or economics also we might be coming across this. There are lots of courses actually wherein we are talking about PLC, product life cycle. Okay, it is kind of like a bell curve like this, with introduction, growth, maturity, decline stages. I have seen questions on and off being asked about PLC. If we are lucky enough, we might get a question this coming term and examination as well, right? Let's hope. So in case it comes, be prepared. Okay, in case you have forgotten, brush it up. You don't have to go and pick up your old textbook to brush it up. It has already been said again, once again in this MMPC 6, right, in the first unit itself. So you can just go ahead and brush through it from there also. It's the same only, PLC. Then product selection and process selection, both of them are important. So what is product selection? Product selection, what is it? It is the strategic decision consisting of what product I have to produce. Okay, which product or which service should I produce, in what form should I produce, what features should it have, what and in what number should I produce. Whereas process selection, what will happen? It decides the quality and quantity of the manpower, capital, and such things. Okay, the choice of process that is used for production. Like for example, if you decide that you want to get into the food industry, okay, food factory business, product selection would be you deciding what type of a product or what type of a food you want to create. Do you want to go for chips? Do you want to go for sweets? Okay, or do you want to go for savory items? Are you trying to process liquid items? Is it going to be pickle? What kind? Okay, or is it going to be some powders like curry masala powders or something like that? Or what else? Are you going to try and create some frozen veggies or meat products? What kind of food business? What kind of product? Okay, that is what production process is all about. Then process selection is how you're going to do it. How many machines are you going to employ? How many people are you going to employ? Where are you going to set up this thing? Okay, so those kind of things are involved in the process selection part. I hope that at least that part is clear, right? So each of this, product selection or process selection, both of them are strategic decisions. Okay, they are strategic decisions. So be it product selection or process selection, be it any kind of decision, be it any kind of strategic decision, it should start with research, right? So research, screen for all the alternative, create do the economic analysis. Okay, then create a test product, right? Output development, process development, design and test it. Okay, research should also include marketing research as well as idea generation. How best can you, what could be your unique selling proposition, such kind of things, that idea generation. So these are the stages of bringing product selection. Okay, bringing a new product into the market. So this you might get a nostalgia of, oh, I have studied it somewhere, right? I hope you do. I really hope you do, because this is kind of like a refreshment of this new product life cycle. Okay, new product life cycle from marketing management. Then again, coming to the process selection, so it is your process, okay, that determines how much of a quality or what in what quantity uh, your inputs will be converted to outputs. What kind of employees will you use? What would be the employee diversity? Are you going to employ more women? Are you going to employ more men? From which locality will you employ? Are you willing to take up people who are, some jobs, if you have seen, they will specifically mention that people from this particular locality only we are looking for. Okay, do you have any such constraints? Maybe you would have, considering the kind of work or the shift timings and things like that. You don't want to give job to somebody who might not be comfortable with it. Such considerations might be there. Similarly, the cost, like, are you okay with the 10K machinery, or are you going for a more powerful, maybe 30 or 50K machinery? If are you going to give laptops to your employees? If so, are you going to give them a Dell laptop or an Apple laptop? All these things you might find, you might even think that it is funny, but these are important. Why? Because they affect your cost and therefore your profit, right? So they are all part of the process decisions. So then the next thing is facility location, right? facility location. So facility location, what does it say? It just it prompts you to understand about the facility, that is the location where your firm is going to be located, right? Location, where would the plant be, where would the plant be located, or where will be your facility, that is your building, that structure, where is it going to be located, right? Is it are you going to take it for rent? Are you going to construct it? Are you going to construct it on your own land? Are you going to lease the land? All different things, right? All the economic reasons, or all those things might come into picture. How do you want to include it in total cost or profits? Availability of raw material, whether you want to set up your plant closer to your to the raw material area, or whether you want to set it up closer to your distribution area. Okay, such things, lot of factors go into such decisions, economic and non-economic, right? Convenience factors, infrastructure, how the connectivity to that particular place, all those things, how developed that area is, how costly the land is, how costly it is to transport things to that particular place, manpower, whether manpower is cheaply available nearby, skilled manpower which is required for you is available or not. So all such decisions go into finding out this location, right? Facility location. So our book says about two phases, okay, two phases of this facility selection. Phase one is the general territory selection, okay, general territory selection, and phase two is the particular selection of site and community, particular selection of site and community. So the general territory, we think about the, what you can say, is there any market nearby, that is either a customer market or what you can say, factor market, whatever it is, for your product or service. Okay, the raw materials and supplies, transportation facility, manpower supply, infrastructure, labor and wages, laws and taxation, capital availability, vulnerability to enemy attack. Like if you're going to set up a factory, a facility at India China border, okay, let's see, let's hope for the best, that's it, right? So vulnerability to enemy attack is also important when you think about setting up a facility. If you're going to set it up near a area which is under constant conflict, then chances are that there could be losses to your property, to your facility. Coming to the particular selection of site, things like power, transportation, again, labor, wages, laws, taxation, community service, attitude of people to such services. Like for example, if you're going to set up a nuclear power plant in a kind of relatively crowded area, it is not going to work out well, right? So that is again a problem. Community services and attitude, water and waste disposal, ecology, pollution, all those things are also important when we come towards, or when you think about locality selection or facility location selection. Then coming to the work and job designing. Okay, so the concepts which are discussed in this particular unit is not something that is totally new to us. Okay, basically it is about the work measurement, the motion study, work study approach, and things like that, and job design factors, which we have covered in our hr management. Okay, some of them, behavioral dimensions, all those things, design factors, environmental factors, and all, we have studied, already covered some of them in our first semester. Okay, so this should not be that hard if you do decide to go and read, which I strongly suggest you do. Okay, unit number 10, let me say again. Okay, it is not a very hard unit, because most of the concepts we've already studied, at least in our first semester, if not in the second semester. And one thing which I've noticed for IGNOU is that all the courses are interlinked. Okay, you study something of in one particular course, you will see that those same concepts are repeated in other courses in a different context, which helps us identify how this, the 360-degree view of management, which is very great, I would say. Okay, so sorry, one second, I'm getting a sneeze. So what exactly is this work study approach? Let's recap, right? It is a generic term for those techniques, particularly the method and study of work measurement, which is used to examine human work in all contexts. Okay, which leads systematically to the investigation of all the facts which affect the efficiency and economy of the situation being reviewed in order to effect improvement. Okay, so method study, it is the systematic recording and critical examination of the existing as well as proposed ways of doing work. Okay, the methods of doing work as a means of developing and applying easier and more effective methods and reducing cost. Work measurement, on the other hand, is the application of techniques that are designed to establish the time required for a qualified worker to carry out a specific job at a defined level of performance. So the basic work study procedures: select, record, okay, select, record, examine, develop, measure, define, install, maintain. These are the basic work study procedures. But and then once again, when I say that it is these are what you can say, these are concepts that are not familiar to us, please don't think that whatever we studied in first semester as it is, they have copy pasted in your second semester book. Okay, that is not the case. It has been expanded, but I just meant that it will be easier for you to grasp the concept. Okay, in case you are able to dedicate some 10 not 10, 20 minutes or so to this unit, focus completely in this unit, and if you try to read it, I am sure that you will be able to grasp the concepts quickly, because these concepts have already been touched upon. Now, coming to the most important unit, I would say, of this entire course, value engineering. Value engineering and quality assurance. Okay, value engineering and quality assurance. So what is value engineering? Okay, value engineering, or also known as value analysis, it is an important and powerful approach for improvement of performance of the products. Okay, it could be the products, the systems, or procedures, and reduction in the cost without jeopardizing their function. Okay, that is value engineering. Study the definition of value engineering without fail. Okay, and any question that gets asked about value engineering, definitely start the answer with this definition. Now you can talk about what are the reasons why we need to go for value engineering, or what are the reasons why our products or services might have poor value. Okay, it could be because of a lack of organized effort in devising systems. Like for example, why my ppts, some videos are not up to the mark as other videos. Simple reason, straightforward, let me tell you, because I did not have enough time to prepare those videos, right? Like this video, for instance, I really wanted to prepare a good presentation and all, but things didn't work out, didn't go as planned. But I didn't want to let go of you guys, so I'm trying my best to help you guys out in your term and examination as much as possible. So I'm having to let go of that kind of a quality content. Okay, quality in the sense of quality presentation, pleasing to the eye kind of contents, right, with good editing and stuff like that. Maybe one day our community will have such videos. I really hope it happens in the near future, but till then, this is what we got. Okay, so that is one of the reasons for poor value, right? Maybe the designs are created under highly compressed time frame, and the designer may play safe by giving product designs with sole emphasis on technical feasibility. Okay, and may prescribe thicker, costlier materials and other unnecessary features which are not needed by the customer. Like some laptops, they are loaded with features, but actually we don't need any of those. For me particularly, maybe because I'm old, I've never found the use of a fingerprint reader, and I don't store any atom bomb formula, okay, in my laptop, so it's fine. I can do without a fingerprint reader also. But now that I'm looking for a replacement for my laptop, I don't know, this kind of unnecessary features which are pulling me down on the cost side is coming up. So that is one of the that could be one of the reasons, god knows, right? For me it is poor value, but for you it might be awesome, because maybe you would want something, you might have a different use for a backlit keyboard or a fingerprint scanner. God knows, right? It could be the convenience it offers rather than having to type. For me it's fine, meh. I could live without that. So that is the thing, these kind of things, value, especially from a customer's point of view, varies a lot. What might be valuable to me might not be valuable to you, and vice versa, right? So that is the basic concept of value engineering. Now we told, right, value engineering, it is also for the reduction of cost without jeopardizing the function. So is value engineering same as conventional cost reduction? Okay, no, it is not. Why? Because value engineering is function oriented, whereas cost reduction, generally what we talk about cost reduction, is item oriented. Like how can I reduce the cost per item is what cost reduction thinks about. But value engineering is not like that. Value engineering is trying to reduce the overall cost of the function assets, the production process assets, without having to reduce the quality of that thing. Okay, so it applies innovative approaches and ideas, whereas conventional cost reduction follows past practices. Okay, similarly, value engineering exercises maximum creativity, whereas cost reduction is analytical. Okay, cost visibility in case of value engineering, is on the basis of basic function, secondary function, unnecessary function, essential function, things like that. Okay, so if it is an unnecessary function, then maybe we'll get rid of it. Whereas in cost reduction, the cost visibility is basically on say process wise, or on materials, labor, overhead, transportation, packaging, like that. Okay, so value engineering is a teamwork approach. Okay, it is multidisciplinary. It does not compromise with the performance or the quality or the reliability of that particular product. It is very systematic and sequential. Whereas conventional cost reduction, it is totally an individual approach. There is nothing called a team spirit over there. Okay, it is generally it is not a multidisciplinary approach, because the sole focus is on the cost aspect, right? There is a tendency towards compromising quality and reliability in the name of reduction of cost. So it is an arbitrary approach as well as an ad hoc approach. Similarly, when we talk about value engineering, we should also recap on the various types of values of a product, right? A product could have use value. Okay, that is, it accomplishes a useful purpose or service. It is of utility to that particular customer. It could satisfy the esteem value. Okay, maybe because of its attractiveness or any of its special features which causes us to want or own it. A Lamborghini, maybe Audi, right? Think Mercedes Benz for some people, or Lee Cooper. The beauty of that structure, like that thing is not, you're not going to get that with a Wagoner or a Maruti 800. No, right? The esteem value there. Cost value, okay, that is the sum of labor, material, and various other costs required to produce it. Outsourcing, why companies go for outsourcing? Because of the cost value, right? Exchange value, the property or quality which enables us to exchange it for something else that we want. Apart from, I think, Apple phones, none of the other phones will have that much of an exchange value. Gold exchange value, right? So that is the different types of values a product or a service might own. Coming to functions, the different types of functions. Okay, it could be basic functions, that is the primary purpose of the product. For example, phone. What is the basic function of a phone? To be able to make a call, right? Secondary function, maybe use the camera, or maybe take pictures, or maybe send through documents, multimedia messages, things like that. That could be the secondary function. Okay, then there could be what you can say unnecessary functions. Can you guess? Can you think about any unnecessary functions that the phones nowadays have? Flipping, is that actually a necessary function? Now I think Motorola is also going to release one flip phone, right? Razer or something like that. Is that a necessary function? Is that essential? Right? So what are some unnecessary functions that you can think of that the modern phones do? If you have any ideas, comment down below. Okay, let's keep the video engaging. So yeah, so that is the function, types of functions and types of value. Then again, the value engineering job plan. So prepare, problem selection, information, evaluation, creation, selection, presentation, implementation, follow up, general things only. Then there is something in this unit called as a fast diagram. Okay, fast diagram. I'm totally conflicted upon this particular thing actually, because one time, only just once out of this 10 previous years question papers which I went through, I've seen this fast diagram being asked. That also was in the old syllabus. So I'm not sure whether this is something that could come up in the next examination or not. But there is a chance because it was asked once. So if in case you guys can go through this fast diagram and get the gist of it, it would be awesome. Okay, because this has been asked, but in the past previous syllabus. Okay, the MS syllabus before the new MBA syllabus, but it has been asked. So this fast diagram, just a quick intro into it. It is a technique which is developed by Charles. Okay, and it is used to establish the relationship between functions and functions in the analysis of the entire system, the process or complicated assembly. Okay, and it gives a better understanding actually of the interrelationship of the function and the cost. Okay, like what you can say, how much cost does a basic function incur, or a one-time function incur, or a required secondary function incur, such that kind of interrelationships. Then the next important concept in this particular unit is, of course, the quality engineering, right? QA. So what is quality engineering? What is quality? Quality is fitness for use. Okay. It is the confirmation to requirements also, you can say. So we must always, right, any product you see, any product you buy, you would see even a small baby toy, if you ask for, if you purchase, if it has battery, it is a battery operated event, you will see QA passed, QA checked kind of things, right? So quality assurance is something which is very important in modern days. All of us look for good quality in the goods or services that we ask for. Now the definition of quality for me might not be the same for you might have a different, you might be looking for different aspects from a particular product, and therefore your sense of how good or how of a quality product might be totally different from mine. Okay, like for example, I being a person who maybe on, if you think about the sugar scale or the coffee bitterness scale, maybe you might like espresso, you might feel that some espresso from so and so place is great, but I might not feel the same, right? I might think that that quality is mediocre, maybe because I have, it doesn't suit my taste, something like that, right? So quality is again a subjective aspect, but basically for any customer what we need is what we are trying to understand from quality is how fit it is to use. Like for example, if you're talking about a toy car, if it doesn't work on the battery, then definitely it's QA failed. Whether or not you like its form factor, it is QA failed if it doesn't work even after putting fresh batteries, right? So why? Because it is not fit for use anymore. So that is the basic definition of quality. That is, it has to be fit for use. So what are the few aspects of quality management? It could be QA, quality assessment, okay? Quality assessment, quality control. These are the main two aspects. Then quality circles. If you remember, quality circles was there in first semester in our topic. Was it first semester? I think so, right? Again, I guess in marketing management or somewhere we have learned, right? Quality circles. It is a group of employees whose assignment is to identify problems, formulate solutions, and present their results to management with suggestions for implementation. That is quality circles. So quality circles are also part of quality management. Okay. Then another important concept is acceptance sampling, from again from this unit. Okay, acceptance sampling. It has come up as a short answer question. So all in all, I would say do not skip this unit 11. I'm saying again and again, do not skip this unit 11. No matter which other unit you skip, do not skip unit 11. That is all I can say. So acceptance sampling is also an important area. Yeah, and then the other most important, second important, I would say, concept which I have seen coming up multiple times in the previous year's question papers is codification. Okay, codification. So what is codification? It is the process of representing each item by a group of numbers and alphabets indicating the group, subgroup, or the type and the dimension of the item. I would strongly suggest go and read and by heart that definition and go. Okay, any codes that you can which comes up into your mind when you talk about codification, like that? QR codes, barcodes. Okay, have you gone to any kind of a supermarket or a hypermarket and have you checked the products there? They will all come with the barcode, right? Which when scanned will give you the money, right? So that is the easiest and the most one of the most important examples of codification that is there around us in our daily life. Nowadays anything and everything you can scan a QR code, right? So those are all codifications. What are we doing by that? We are representing those items by a group of numbers or alphabets which indicate the group, the subgroup, the type, and the dimension of the item. ISBN codes for books are again one other type of codification, right? So any other type of codes or codifications that you can remember from your from your life, if you guys can comment down in the video below, it could help other people like you who are preparing for the term and examination. So I strongly urge you to share your knowledge, share your ideas, share your viewpoints on these topics, and help our community members. Okay, so what are the objectives of codification? Accurate and logical identification, prevention of duplication, standardization and reduction in varieties, efficient purchasing decision, efficient recording and accounting, easy locating, indexing, inspection, easy computerization. All those things are objectives of codification. What are the essential features? Brevity, logicalness or logic, flexibility, uniqueness, easy understandability, proper choice of coding symbols, layout of codes, capacity of system, they are all requirements. Now there are multiple codification systems, right? We have a Brish system. I hope that is how it is pronounced. Brish system. We have the Kodak system. Then we have the color coding system. If you guys are from electronics background, okay, or have studied physics, you might know about the color coding system. where transistors, sorry, layout, okay, transistors, capacitors, resistors sometimes get color coded based on their system specifications and all. Then what else can you think about a color coded stuff? Any other color coding? mm, okay, my head is blank. If you guys get anything, just comment down below. So that was codification in short, actually very short. Okay, the final unit is waste management. Waste management, that is the final unit in this particular course. So that talks about, as you guessed it, waste management, right? So what is waste management? It is an activity involving many things. Okay, it is multidisciplinary. Actually it involves engineering, it involves economics, it involves urban and regional planning, it involves management techniques, social sciences, and all those things to minimize the overall wastivity of the system, okay, or the operation process under consideration. That is waste management. How can we reduce the wastage and therefore not, what you say, utilize to the fullest, is what waste management is all about. Okay, so the taxonomy of waste, or the science or technique of classification of waste, is an important aspect. So on the basis of the resource wasted, or on the basis of the source of origin like agriculture or industrial, municipal, like that, we can classify. On the basis of property, whether it is hazardous or non-hazardous. On the basis of recoverability, whether it is recoverable or non-recoverable, right, reusable or non-reusable. These are all various ways in which you can classify waste. Now what is wastivity? Okay, and gross and net wastivity. So wastivity is the fancy term that defines the ratio of the waste to the input. So for a given particular input, how much waste, how much of it is going as waste, is what wastivity is about. Okay, so what is gross wastivity? The total waste generated for the total output. Net wastivity will be net waste generated for the total input. Okay, so that is gross and net wastivity, and that is what wastivity itself is. Now what is productivity then, and what is wastivity? Productivity of any system can be defined as the ratio of the desired output to input, whereas wastivity was waste to input. Okay, so output to input ratio is productivity, and waste to input ratio is wastivity. Then we have the functional elements of waste management, like waste generation or causation, its storage, segregation, its collection, recycling, reusing, processing, disposal, its and all these things. Okay, segregation or storage or collection, whatever it is, we are trying to reduce the generation as well as the other aspects. Okay, so that is the what you can say, functional elements of waste management. So just like how we had input output process model in our first semester, here we have the input output waste model. Okay, IOW, input output waste model is there. So what is the IOW framework or the IOW model? It defines the flow matrix. Okay, so this entire input output waste model, it is also called as waste input output model also. So it is generally, in a nutshell, how I can explain to you is, it is what you can say, a model which shows the interdependence between the flow of goods and the flow of waste. Okay, so how, while input gets translated into outputs, inputs also, a part of that input also goes into or becomes waste. That flow or that interdependence between this input, waste, and output is what an IOW model actually talks about. Okay, so those are the important concepts or the important parts of MMPC 9 that you have to study and go, according to me. Okay, from what I gather by analyzing the previous year's question papers, what I get is this. So no matter what, do not skip unit 11. Okay, that is all that I can tell for sure, because that is one unit for sure short you will get a question. Then just make sure that you brush up everything, at least read through, and concentrate, give your 100% attention and read through. Most of the things, concepts that are mentioned in this particular course are concepts which we are aware of, which we have seen around us. Okay, and try to, when you read each concept, try to form a example in your mind which you can easily relate to. then that also will help you, recollect when you are writing your term and examinations. So I hope and I wish all of you the very best. Write your examinations very well. And until I see you in the next video, bye bye. My prayers are there with you guys. All the very best. You guys will be able to do well. That's what I hope. Okay. So thank you so much and bye bye.